Okay, so I'm going to do the weekend market update review, current state of affairs, and the first consideration for me is always going to be the structure of the market. What price level are we at compared to where we've been in the most recent past? So the way I look at the market is, I guess the way the market looks at the market, because if the market's storming in one direction or the other, it's basically clearing out a forest, in my opinion. And what it's done, burning down, this is the cycle of, if Fibonacci works, then the gold ratio of these things, which roughly exist in Mother Nature, not to the pure extent of the 618, but any proportion randomly, there is a contour to things. So as the market cuts into these prices, and once it's satisfied itself in kind of animalistic way of the guy, I think the guy who wrote that book about animal behavior after the 2008 crash, he was onto this, it's just the beast, the ghost in the machine. So what it really is doesn't matter if we're trying to make money from the standpoint of, we know there's behavior of congestion, indecision, and then there's a decision made. And supposedly, well, let's just say, when they say the big boys, they mean volume, and they mean every boy is in the market going in one direction. And it's literally, there's nobody to take the other side of that equation. And what I think you see on this chart, this is the daily U.S. oil chart, is because you have that, just where we're at now, we already come back to the, according to my look back history framing here, we're only going back to the highs of, coming up into the floor. I don't know if we'll make my target into this momentum floor, because the momentum floor is the line chart, and the floor is the actual floor, which is the wick. So there's two different tops become a bottoms. There's also a different concept of a double bottom. If you like double bottoms, and it's always better to have a girl with a double bottom than a single bottom. And maybe that's why people like them. Who knows? Because the single bottom's just as good. Let's face it. Amputee, she's only got one cheek. But down here in the world of the stop hunt world, considered to be stop hunting or extreme unfair value, there is this entry here in the 50-cent window on crude oil. But that uniquely exists for all last month as it's trying to get into this top. Now, this is supposedly the top becomes a bottom, but it only happens here. And did it happen there? Is this the biggest move ever because of that? Because without a chart, everybody knows that this price here at $58 is a big deal. If you hold on to this price level, and now you just keep the scale the same and switch the time frame. And here it was the bottom of the weekly as you crushed in. So it's a very simple way to view the market. And we kind of, so this is the big, also a big deep vacuum pivot, because that is the low that people sold into and made a ton of fucking money. Somebody did. Not everybody. And this is the thing. Everybody's playing a different game. There's no fucking way anybody's going to agree on a trade at any moment in time. But we can all agree, what is the market really doing over a certain amount of time? Whether you get in the jump rope, in other words, because you can't get in the jump rope without fucking up the rope, that might be the first skill set. How do you get into a trade where you're up on the trade with however fast your rope is spinning? That's one way to look at trading. Am I so good I can perceive a window, a rhythm to jump in? And that's what I just went out last night, and I found that being in public with people is very dangerous, because I won't shut the fuck up, and a few times got carried away, But it was all good fun, right? I trusted the people I was with that understand cracking jokes and stuff real time. It's one thing to crack jokes in a video here. It's one thing to crack jokes where somebody might take it the wrong way and then smash you in the face. So it's difficult. But in the market, same thing is true, that if you feel like, wow, this is really seems risky, like I can't fucking believe I'm doing this trade, I lost on it last time. Of course, the concept of selling high, you could win or lose on the concept, but the execution and the tactics of what terrain are you dealt? Like, so basically you're saying, I have a gun. What's the range of the gun? How far are the trees apart in the forest? I mean, you got to look at the price grid of any currency and determine, is this a dense forest, or is this going to be, what kind of tools am I going to need? I don't think you can have a blanket trading plan for all markets. And not to mention the fact that, is the enemy cutting new forest, or are you retreating? Is this a retracement, or is this cutting new forests? And does it matter? Because what if they're cutting fast? Because it's new growth, right? And you can see that on the chart. Okay, this has been here a long time. We had determined that on the, this is the weekly, but on the monthly there's a doji around. I'm sadly going to go to the chart now. So speaking in terms of stories and how you think, and then you look at the chart, and of course, now how do you fit that all together and say, okay, but this would, where people say you need patience, right? Because to wait for a setup on the weekly crude oil is going to be brutal, right? Now it's conceivable that there's some guy out there, and it may be you, that saw this top in time, and roughly, you know, of course, this would presuppose you waited for this fucker to come and queue and tee up on this, and you get the last auction failure here, right? There's nobody coming in. We're not going down to this vacuum. Sorry, it's not going to happen. This has already been charted forest. This has already been taken down. This bottom was supposed to become a top, and it did not fucking happen. In fact, it did not happen to such a degree. This is momentum stuff, and we all know that on some oscillator somewhere tightened up enough, there's divergence from this low to here because we fail to make new lows. So people don't understand how to use trend lines. They just say don't work. Okay. The thing is, you're taking this momentum of this rate of change, and you're saying that projected into the future, are we going to hit? No, you're failing. You're diverging away from this ideal, this utopian dream of it's going to keep going down forever. I'm sure people thought that at the time too. As the weekly crude oil melted down here, it was just incredible. This is unbelievable. I mean, this is one of those times when a trend trader would say to you, yeah, you know how much money I fucking made here? Like, I tell you, this setup doesn't get any better, right? Now, the problem is that when you propel off of this insane divergence and you go after this guy's stop and you trap him, this is like the subtle story of how a forest gets destroyed, I suppose. It comes and captures here, and it comes back and it captures here. Now we play this sideways game for 4 fucking weeks, 1 month. We structurally get a top become a bottom. I mean, is this stuff really that hard? Maybe it is hard. Well, I guess what's hard about it is, okay, when do I implement this? No, you have to look at where you're at in the story. Right now, you're screaming into this floor. Why would you need... Okay, you can always have the Akinashi. I'm going to go to the Akinashi with the RSI later. And you'll see how, oh, that looks like a better car to drive. More gauges on the... Like, I got in this guy's car the other day. This car was fucked up. I get in the thing and I said to him, it's not kidding. I said, how do I know it's in park? Because there's so much shit on the fucking... He had voltage gauges. I'm like, dude, are we in gear or not? Like, let's just make this easy. Well, it's a smart car. So he told me a smart car story. It's horrifying. What's going on out there on smart cars? Oh, we are coming into Target right now on the U.S. crude. The sellers are supposed to come in. Don't forget, bottoms become tops, people. Structure leaves clues. This is the mantra by Empower Trading, who has 1 pip stops. I'm sorry, 1 pip limits from entry. They're so shy about trading, they don't even want to fucking get in it, right? They're like, I don't know, man. They got a limit order sitting 1 pip. It's like 22.5 pips deep, right? The market's coming towards their entry. Do you think they fucking scale in? No. Now we got a fucking 500. We got 40 standard lots sitting at the Fibonacci handle, dead on. Waiting for a fill. What are you going to do the rest of the week? Oh, I don't know. Wait. I got a lot of patience. There's got to be some balance between trading like empowered trading, where we're waiting for a Gartley to hit a fucking cipher. I'm waiting for a cipher to hit a Batwing and clip it by 618. But yeah, don't forget, we're going to drop down to the 4-hour time frame and blow your whole mind out of that fucking idea. Like, the other thing they would do there in power trading is they would say, okay, so we're looking at the weekly chart, or whether you drill up or drill down, you're drilling because you're looking for a window that isn't going to cost you too much spread. This is why the no-nonsense Forex guy is trading at the end of the day, which makes sense, right? The spreads are tightening up. The swaps are changing. And this is a window when it's a true exchange. It's the end of the day. The day traders, why day trading is difficult, because if you're truly a day trader, it means you are flat. You are only in a position for anywhere from 1 millisecond to maybe 20 hours. If you're a strict day trader, where you close out all positions at the end of the day, win, lose, or draw. Now, this is also difficult for me because I just feel like I'm swing trading the rest of this position, and I really don't care. So this is why I need to take scalps off the table when they appear and let everything else float if need be. And this is where I can dump 90% of the position and reload the gun. So I don't have the fear of missing out, because I can get involved in anything on my tablet. I hit a button, right? On my phone, I'm trying to get my Android going. But Android's just going to be launching it, and EA is going to have to come in and manage the trade. I could have an EA run. What I could do, this is the other answer, is you have your phone that you execute on, has no fucking MT4 ability, but coming in inside there is going to be some stupid-ass money management thing. And hopefully your entries are so good that you know that your EA's got 50 pips stop, and you're like, okay, I know I can do this at the market, and I have to wait. And here's where patience would become your whole lifestyle. I'm waiting for the price to look good, and I'm not going to get over anxious. Like, if I see it plummeting, now this does make a lot of money. I'm not going to say it doesn't. When you're trading at the market in small increments, and you know that you have an EA or some, hot chicks managing your account, hopefully. Honey, the account's doing really good. Okay, so, and you just keep on executing, and when the price is hit, and when you're reading the price, you can have to say, I'm waiting for the 80s, I'm waiting for the 70s, I'm waiting for the 60s, and you start to think like in numbers. When you're looking at a chart, I don't think I'm thinking in numbers. I'm thinking pure structure, and I'm thinking, what is it? What if I was to? And of course, this is a momentum snapshot of price behavior on closing prices, literally frame by frame, death by numbers. So here you are, and we're coming into the seller's window. It's the cash out, and this is going to be where the moment of truth is going to be, as far as the weekly chart, going back to the rooftop right here. I think I'm going to be a scalper here and start selling this rooftop easily. Also, that is going to be the inside last bottom tick here. And this thing's ripping. Now, in the big picture, we're almost at the 618 for anybody Fibonacci. I think we can get our brain around this is probably some kind of percentage from close. That's about 618 coming into. I think we don't need a Fibonacci tool. And another reason why are you getting out of Fib? Can I just ask somebody, if Fibonacci is so fucking loosely interpreted, why do you need to get the tool out? You honestly fucking can't tell me. I get to get a kid to do this in 20 seconds. I mean, it's so funny because I watched ICT again just to remember how insane he was. And he's got like, oh, I'm using a 62% pullback. I'm sorry, 72% pullback. Well, how about 75? Why torture your fucking self? Why is the masochistic side so fucking, people just can't wait to beat the fuck out of themselves? I would tell a child, I'd say, okay, here, Junior, here, Johnny. Johnny, come lately here, buddy. Johnny, one note. Can you please mark off, put a line at the highest white line on what you see? Of course, you're presenting this frame to somebody. You know the answer already, but this is how they can think for themselves on lower time frames when you're asleep or something. This is your idea of having your kids make some money, like, the farmers used to torture their kids and send them out in the field. And you say, okay, mark off another line here. And then, okay, I'm just going to go for the Fibonacci example. How to build 70 better than 61.8 is 75% off. I'm just saying. Here, Johnny, put this line in. Okay, Johnny, now pick a place between these two lines, halfway between. I mean, really, you can't fucking get your brain around half between that. You should be able to within the fucking 10 cents. Okay, Johnny, where's the middle? I guess he could cheat and put a fucking ruler right on the screen. But we could go there. We could do that. But I'm going to say, if I start over here, maybe it's a little less disturbing, right? Oh, see, look, I told you 50% works. We make all these claims, but it doesn't really mean shit to how big you're in these trades or anything else. I mean, it's just so fucking harebrained. And let's go for the 75%, because now I'm really good at cutting shit in half. God, I'm so good at cutting shit in half. It's crazy. Look at this. Oh, it's better than Fibonacci. It's just in a quarter chunks. This Fibonacci shit is just hysterical. People break that motherfucker out, and I'm like, okay, buddy, listen, step away from the car. Just because you have pliers doesn't mean that you can work on my car. Everything's in quarter inches here. So how to debunk all this shit? Because there's no way you can make money even from knowing these prices. And look, this happens to be the low here. Oh, it's crazy. This is the argument for round handles trading too. There's 25% off, 75% off. You don't see 62. Where have you driven by in each store that says 61.8% off? That would be very hysterical, right? It's half off. It's 20% off. It's 100%. It's 75%. It's 75% off. Holy fuck! People are like, holy shit! This is like, that's the 100% off. Total retracement in golf. Total in golf auction. 200% off. How about we're bankrupt? So, crude oil, amazing. I think crude oil is going to go ballistic. But that's just me. I'm always bullish. But look at this thing climbing out of this fucking hole. God damn it. I'm just going to call this crude oil because I never changed any other markets. I'm not going to be able to get the other market. But I want to do, at some point, I do want to go. But it's too funny. Look at this shit. Look at this shit. This is the top bottom failure. This is top is supposed to become a bottom and close. Wow. What could possibly go wrong once we invaded this area, right? And this was the pullback to the breakout on closing prices on the monthly chart. Yes, if you have patience and you're going to load the wagon here, you're going to make a lot of fucking money, right? And here is the other bottom, top that kind of became a bottom, right? Not on closing prices, but we wicked into it. Buyers came in there. They also came in. The aggressive buyers came in at this rooftop, right? They came in real early, and they got a chunk of that. They were still range trading it, though. In other words, just because this is going down, you don't have to be a trend trader. You could have been the guy that sold into this window. There's so many people on. You really think there's only one trade here? How are people even thinking that? Okay, the guy that sold aggressively into this, his first exit was here for the scalp. He's going for the scalp. This is like when they're doing the commentary on the Golf Channel. He's going for the scalp. Yeah, fall asleep. I used to use golf to fall asleep to. Then we got, so we rip north here. had he stayed around for the rest of it. Here is the classic kickback after we close into structure on momentum on the monthly now, same as the weekly. Here's the classic stop hunt into this little mini vac trailing behind, never makes it back to this breakout point, never. So this idea that the market's going to come, you can never say never in the market. Even here, all the opportunities above here and all that range trading, all that psychosis and all that indecision was a range trader's dream. Don't forget this is a monthly chart. Plenty of time to get in on the dailies on that. Plenty of setups on the daily. But watching the monthly crush down here and just watching your orders fill in the monthly, I don't think people at Empower Trading are doing that trade because they're going to go to the fucking weekly. They're going to drill down from here. Now, the way they do is here, they would drill down, they would go to the 4-hour chart or something. If you go to the 4-hour chart, and that was an extreme jump, but look at the 4-hour chart trading situations. Same setups. A lot more wiki. Top becomes a bottom structure. You pull back here. You're about to break the... I could go through these charts like bam, bam, bam. The question is, do you have the trade plan that has the tighter stop? This is crude oil, so this is not really pips, but like here's your top become a bottom, right? Right here, when the market, in other words, it breaks out. When it breaks here on the 4-hour chart, everybody's aware of this one, right? Everybody knows there's a ton of uncharted forest up there. Comes back, breakout, pull back, confirm, closes. Don't forget it's closing on these tops. These are the last known tops. Last known. The only other last known is this one, structurally speaking. It's going to go into the new forest. And before it left, don't forget all this bullshit that looked like completely untradeable looks very tradable here. Because we all see where the orders go. You're buying this, guys, stop. Let's just assume there is, you're trading against George Soros. You have to make some kind of narrative up in your head to make it okay to trade, right? You're basically ripping people off. You are the market maker. I always found that to be most disturbing. I'm that guy I used to complain about. Oh, how do I stop? Well, no, you got to do that, son. You got to go out and hunt them stops. And it's sick. And this is why people laugh. Top Tick Tommy, you know, if you listen to the Auction Basics, Auction Theory with a Crayon, it's about, you know, Top Tick Tommy. He buys up here. You know, where does he buy? Like, he's like, it's about to break out. I'm buying right here. And it did break out. That broke out by the smallest increment in the bid. Oh, wait. No, it's not true. But because they asked, he had to break out the ask, but it didn't break out. But he was anticipating it. He'd ride it all the way back to here, maybe. So this wick here, all these lonely wicks is where you have your buy limits sitting here, right? So you capture this price, capture that price. On the sell side, you are going to sell maybe here, and you're going to get killed because, well, you're going to lose whatever that trade is, right? Because you have to have some kind of perception of what is to the left of you, which is fucking nothing for months. Months of nothing. So each slice here is a month. Here is the weekly chart. You can't even see those trades on the weekly chart, okay? They exist on the daily exquisitely. It's like child's play on the daily, right? And the guy that's a no-nonsense Forex, here, just a heads up, no-nonsense Forex guy has no fucking trade plan. He has no fucking sizing plan. It's completely harebrained fucking nonsense to say that you backtested something with a dumb shit 2% risk thing. What is 2% of $1,000 compared to 2% of $1 billion? This idea you're risking 2%, it's just, you want to kill yourself listening to these fucking idiots. There's nothing to do with trading. You can put on trades that blow your fucking mind, right? But you can't trade that big. In other words, if you don't have fucking zero spread and low commissions, you can't be trading so big at the market on a consider to be a day trader, you know, how are you doing that? Okay, the question is, you are doing that to the edge you can do it, because there has to be some kind of bookends between scalping and creeper gear swing trading, or creeper gear almost impossibly impatient trades you wouldn't want to do yourself, and you hand that to somebody else. Or you just close the book. You have discipline. You'd only trade on that tablet, that one account. So you buy a tablet, you go out and get a $100 tablet, and it's dedicated to that one broker and that one scheme. How are you able to? Maybe you are, because it's a kibitz, right? You don't care if you win or lose. You're just like, okay, right? But if you actually needed the money for some reason, like you had to go buy a new heart or something, or kidney on the black market, of course. But, you know, there's got to be a reason you're even trading in the first place, right? But I think it's painfully obvious what's going on in the markets. It's just that who can endure waiting to make money in a market that can move violently and blow up your account? I mean, when you think blowing up your account, you don't think this is a process that's happening slowly. The whole language based around trading, like blow up your account, obviously a violent act that's happening very quickly because the news came out, or it's kind of bleeding your account quickly, you know. And some guy was saying, well, how do you deal with that? Well, you wouldn't put yourself in that situation. And, you know, if you go to a certain bar where you know there's fights, you know, you have to have your Kevlar on. You kind of got to show up with maybe don't take your motorcycle helmet off kind of approach, right? Or don't hug somebody and smell their hair. There's some places, bars, you can't get away with that. So you got to know where you're going, right? And of course, why are you even going there? And of course, the adventure is kind of romantic in the sense that, you know, the movies have created a whole industry around, and even on YouTube with the guys with the Ferraris and the wads of money. What would you rather have, peace of mind or wads of money? So if it's disturbing you to trade largely because you want to have a bunch of money, because you kind of want to get there, and the whole idea of making money, extra money or more money from just having a thought. Now, I thought that was very disturbing at first. I still do think it's very disturbing that because I can perceive an opportunity and the effort involved is no more than clicking a mouse, how can that be real work? So that's a work ethic problem that I got over very quickly once I saw how hard it was to write a script. I thought, okay, you know, it's like people make fun of the movies and stuff, but to write a good script, anybody can read that script and it's going to be funny jokes, right? Well, presupposing you have the right attitude a little bit, delivery maybe matters. And this is where execution would matter too. So even though you got a great script, you got jokes that are funny, you still got to deliver them on stage in front of an audience with a decent PA system. I went to a show last night. They had the worst fucking sound system. I was ashamed. Supposedly the best venue in this city. And I was like, really? Okay. Got a problem here, people. I had to wear earplugs. It was like, oh, killing me. But yeah, what are you even trading for? And it's always a very brutal comment that people say. The psychologists, trading psychologists would say to you, well, why are you even doing this? And you sound really like you know what the fuck you're doing. Why don't you just go do something you know? And just do more of that. Only because the market is incidentally the market doesn't know you exist, so it's not trying to hurt you, but you're getting hurt by it. So why wouldn't you be at least saying, how can I protect myself against the market? Well, ultimate protection is don't trade. And then if you're going to decide to trade, okay, well, what do I need to go in there so that I'm not going to get hurt? Well, the idea that you think you're going to get hurt in the first place could be a problem, because now you're also saying that losing money hurts me. Okay, well then, I think for most people it does, right? Because it's like loss of resources, and this is why people want to like stack coins and stuff. But you're going to die. Okay, so what the fuck, right? I mean, there's also the side that's just completely like, why bother? But, with these trade plans here that can make money from just a thought, a scheme, and this is where it goes down the road of being dark, and this is where religious people have a hard time trading because of the trigger of the words. Risk, it's gambling, you speculate. Speculation is this kind of like scientific term that has a dirty side, which is gambling. And I say dirty in like hooker kind of maybe a lady of the night that has diseases. Kind of like nobody wants to perceive themselves as doing that kind of stop hunting. But this part of the market does exist. The edge of the market, like the Milken guy that was the junk bond guy. But you know what he did? He created liquidity. So, and this is also the kind of, I hate my broker, or my broker, this and that, and they're charging me a spread, and this guy fucking Ryan Brown, who, I don't know, this guy's wife's so high, he's probably still banging her, but, people that walk away from trading because they're like, this is just too much work. It's too much work, man. Am I gonna go skimming for the most? Am I gonna be the guy that's going to take a risk and do what would he consider risk? Right? I don't think it's a big risk at the dollar amount. According to Yang, $1,000 a month seems to be the psychological baseline. It's funny that Yang picked this round number. He calls it a magical number, but he doesn't realize why it's magical. It's because it's a round number, dumb fuck. Everybody gets their brain around. It's a metric number, and everything's on metric anyways, apparently. So I've heard from people at the ground level of car repair. But, yeah, I mean, it's really going to be something else. This year is going to be mind-blowing. I think the stock market is going to go through the roof. Fucking insane. Right at the borderline, people. Guys. We are going through the fucking roof on this god motherfucker. Oh, I think NASDAQ's leading the way. I haven't looked. Let's see. I've got it all in here somewhere. I am paying attention, damn it. Okay, Bitcoin, I think it's going 6,000. Let me see if I'm right. Oh, there we go. So, look at that. We filled the vacuum, so fucking amazing, right? Look at that thing just screaming back. Wow. And so what is the trigger for that? I say it's April 15th, but that's just me. How much money is in circulation, by the way? Tax returns coming in. Look at this thing screaming back. So I think this is coming into the exit window. Plus, I think it's inflation. I was at the store the other day buying my favorite crackers. Yep, they're up in price. But oddly enough, and I think this is going to be the new norm coming, they were not up in a price that ended in a 9 or an 8. They were up at $1.75 for a paper bag of them. It's a weird box bag. It's a box, but it's a bag. And $1.75. I go, okay, here we go. And I see crude oil is about to go berserk. And it's going to be fucking unbelievable. And the liberals are going to cry inflation. It's going to be the cutest fucking thing you've ever seen. It's going to be Weimar Republic fucking creeper gear. That's just my prediction. Here we're coming up on the floor of the weekly other coin. We're screaming back. And this looks like we're going to take this floor out. I don't have enough data here to really give you a big picture. Inflation across the boards, people. Stand back. The S&P 500 is about to march north. We are in the 4-period moving average cloud. Is this a shoulder? You know how many people are calling head and shoulders on this? I wonder. Can't you see it? Ralph, I see a shoulder. Hey, call Hank and get him over here. I think he's got to see this. Bring some whiskey. I think he's got to take a look at this. Hank, you there? Get him. Text him. Wait, you ain't got text minutes left? The Nasdaq's leading the storm. Here come the robots. Yang was right. Them robots are coming. But Yang's fucking got his head up his ass because Yang don't realize that there's going to be more fucking work for everybody. Learn to code, fuckhead, because guess what? That's where we're going. I learned to code. I didn't code too good, but I learned something. I stole coding from other people. Does that count? Yeah, I dipped in the $1,000 character per code month. I'm tipping into the well myself. Stocks are going through the roof. I want to go watch Norm. I haven't watched this guy that I've subscribed to because the guy that was buying into the selling into the dollar rally. Even the Germans are cutting through the floor here. Are we really going to we didn't maintain this bottom. Are we going to I don't this is the sellers are coming in right there for the scalp. ExxonMobil. And look at them tee up American Express. Hello. I think this is, I don't know if this is new all-time highs, but we want some American Express, which is the Bitcoin of the rich people. You got to understand Bitcoin is nothing more than a stock. It's a transfer mechanism. It ain't worth nothing. I mean, it's worth it to pay for that convenience. The price kind of reflects the convenience. That's the only dividend in Bitcoin is convenience. It's always what I thought it was. Like I ask people, what's with this Bitcoin thing? And I'm like, okay, well, when Liberty Reserve, if you look up Liberty Reserve, that was the original Bitcoin, in my opinion. It was peer-to-peer transfer. I would say, for all I'm pretty sure it was kept private. It was 50 cents a transaction. And then they were going out, and Bitcoin existed while they existed. And when they went away, people went to Bitcoin. Don't forget, the guy that was charging 50 cents a transaction had a Rolls Royce. Okay. I think it was in Costa Rica or something. And he did pretty well. And here's just inflation. I think this is what I'm seeing. Everything's going up. I think Tesla's going to get crushed, though. Tesla's going to be they're a tech hoax. I think Tesla's going to go through the floor here. I'm just saying. I'm usually bullish, and I would say, buy the bottom of that range, but I think it's going to Tesla is something. Tesla, I don't know, Tesla's got issues. I don't have all the stocks up here, so sorry, I can't, I don't know what the fuck this is. What is this? People ask me to put this up. TWR. Looks like they're going up to me. Like we're just going to go ripping. What else I got? Oh boy, these guys are retesting. It looks like they're going to go to hell. Procter & Gamble looks like it's going to go through the roof because it's based on oil. Okay, this is, I don't know what the hell that is. Pfizer? Drugs? That's going to go through the roof. That thing's teed up. Looks like this is going to go through the floor and take out this channel. Mexican dollar is going to lose against the Mexican. I think the dollar is going to get annihilated now. This could be kind of it here. They trapped these guys. This looks like it's going to keep tanking. Yeah, so Bitcoin, the scalpers are going to be getting out here around, I think everybody's going to run for cover here. And what else do I got? Oh, geez. Yeah, the Hang Seng should be ripping. It's kind of leading the fight that the sellers are coming in right here to cash out, but it's like a little bit ahead of the DAX in terms of the cut-through factor. Of course, this will be the big fast area, but I know there's got to be a million sellers right here at this wick top. So looking at the wick tops for entry, we know there's a ton of people cashing out here to scalp it all the way back to even where we're at now, probably. What else is there? Dash coins. All the Bitcoins are going up now. I think it's just overall inflation in every market. Boeing looked like a good buy there. its structure. Just because their plane blew up doesn't mean it's not a good stock. Dollar index is probably tanking. No, it's marching north. So I don't think that the dollar has to go down in value either. This is another, I think, misconception that inflation would make the dollar go down. No, because what if the other countries are inflating harder than we are? Then we look like fucking. Plus interest rates will be going up. Maybe that's what's going to drive the dollar through. And the dollar is going to, looks like the dollar is going to go up. So this kind of weird paradox. I think the dollar is going up. I think crude oil is going up. Of course, you could make the argument that we have a double top on the monthly. We're going to range for a while here, and it's going to range while crude. And there is this kind of yin and yang. At least there's a rollover between people going to the bank, getting loans, paying off, and there's a cycle. Because when taxes are due, don't forget that is the barometer of inflation is taxes. In my opinion, these are all my opinions. I really can't prove anything. Hopefully common sense comes in. I don't have a conspiracy theory of it. I just have I've noticed if you go look at the gold market during the, I should put gold up here. I don't have, if you look at that around April, in the April months, the April month of every year, you'll see this kind of punctuation that's like the close of the day there for all the people. I don't have some people. Why don't I have gold up here though? I had gold and silver, I'm pretty sure. Please hold. I'm going to bring up the symbol list. It's got to be on. It's in yellow typically. There's gold in them hills. When they going to start gold mining? I'm just going to start digging in my backyard. If price goes up big enough, damn it. It's funny that the dollar is just below par. It's just kind of like $1 for $1. Amazon's screaming north. They'll do good. That's an exchange. It's just an exchange for goods. That's all Bitcoin's trying to be, is an exchange point. Netflix. People are sitting home getting fatter and fatter watching Netflix. Jesus Christ, people. Peel some pounds. I'm out the store and I'm like, God damn it. But then I went down to the city last night, and the bigger the city, the fitter the people. Because they're like, they're on high alert down there. They are dressed to the nines like they're in a show. If you go downtown, it's like you're in a movie set. It's just missing the cameras and the microphones. It's nuts. Downtown is crazy. There's gold in them heels. Okay, put that gold up. Where's it at? I can't be trading at that. Where's the dollar? It's silver. $15, it sounds like fair value. I'll give you $15 for that. Oh, damn. Can't find it. Am I missing something? Anyways, who fucking cares? Let's look at silver. The way they lay the symbol, every broker has to pick a different thing apparently, because no broker can have the same thing or it'll actually fuck up somewhere. I'm going to use my fancy RSI. I'll do a big time analysis. Let's see, silver. How's it coming off the floor here? It's right in the middle. Kind of just stalled out. Nothing really to say. Well, it does look like he's ready to take a leg up, though. So we come back, and RSI is in the middle of the road. We got top, bottom, and RSI. That's when I first started doing the top, bottom analysis. Was RSI, or even the here's like the big Cardwell Brown sell reversals here. Show up really nicely on close. You got to wait for that setup. That's not like throwing in a grid of pendings for the next 4 hours or anything like that. Let's see, on the way up, almost a reversal here. Right now, you're kind of like, you rejected this thing and you've chopped out that wick. Okay, you took out this wick. So this lonely wick is a place you really want to have orders like this one. I call that the lonely wick theory. And because that's an extreme price. And you don't always get filled, but when you do, wow. And of course, you got to hold that on silver. But if inflation kicks in, we take this out. We got a nice fat trend line that goes back about, well, the internal trend line for me, which is just cordoning off this triangle. You've already broke that one, but you're looking to break. You're kind of in the process of breaking this right now. That's like the trend line that hugs it the most. This is also the other kind of shorter term trend line. We have this one. And then we have the most nearby, which I only worry about this one on a monthly. We got this thing projected off of that last momentum. And ultimately, we would zoom in, max zoom in. It's going to be like, okay, well, is this the launching pad? Is this the trap here on the monthly? We nail it here at like 14. New resistance for the year coming up here. We have a low volatility bar. We just did a mini stop hunt here. Took out the low last month. Everybody that's got stops here is going to think twice about leaving them here. And we are trapped, momentumly speaking, you know, in this. Here's the double bottom in momentum. Became a top. Sellers did come in. Can they hold it below there? Once again, we're at the 50% level of that whole range. And it's teed up at 15.10. And if it goes and takes out 20, yeah, we got a problem. There's sellers here at 21. 3 years ago. 3 years ago. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my other thing here. And look at these pound cats screaming back to the buy zone. In fact, the scalpers have already taken their money and ran. Anybody that had a pending buy limit grid in there, they're already out. This thing's ferociously bullish. I think the pound's going up against this long run. See, on the daily, it's a whole different story. A whole different story in the 4 hour. So you really have to figure out which time frame. And how you, even not only what time frame, but how you're going to frame the time frame. So I have a 4 hour chart like this, max zoom in, then I go to this. It's a whole different story because you can see here now that selling high and assuming that there are triple tops. In other words, you get this the first top, you put a sell limit, and this is where you remarry your ex-wife. Here's a lonely wick. If you bought that, you got clobbered. If you bought this lonely wick here, you didn't even get filled till here, but then you made money, see? You made money because it came ripping up, so you can't win them all. And this is going to crush down, and if you bought aggressively into that, it's a different story. In other words, you bought aggressively into it. Where did you dump it? And where did everybody dump it? When this bottom became a top in wicks. Everybody got the fuck out, see? And the people that really got the fuck out were the most recent sellers that got burned. How can you tell? Because you see this low. That top became at the bottom on a wicks. It's also the one that goes back, this deeper one. That was a huge issue. And if you did sell this lonely wick, here's your first scalp to here. Here's a kickback. This is the old breakout. Comes back to confirm on close, launches up, 4 hour chart. Different lifestyle, different setups. But if you have a sell limit grid in here, you honestly don't give a shit. If you have a sell limit here, see, everybody's on a different, there's no way you have to fit into your lifestyle. How often can you place these orders that are just seem really If you watch the trade happen, you may not be able to tolerate it. If you place the order and walk away, and at the end of the day, like the song by Joni Mitchell, she puts a penny on the track, Cherokee Louise. In Cherokee Louise, they put a penny on the rails to see what happens to it. And it's the coolest part of the song. And this is what you're doing with the limit order. You put your penny on the track and you see what kind of lucky prize. It's also the Lucky Charms way of trading. But this is the fill. I'm going to stretch this out. Sadly, you can't save a template with the scale fix. And so, you see the storybook goes like that. You fill the sell limit. Here's your lucky prize. And then, once again, if you left sell limits behind that didn't fill and they lived up, say, all the way to here, so you've taken this into account, you've taken this window, and you have different areas. Maybe you've got a scalp bank up here. You've got to imagine orders floating in midair up here, right? You've canvassed this whole area, and you've even got sell limits that start here, and they last all week, but they never filled. So as the market's marching along, and you're seeing it happen, and you're like, yeah, that's what I thought would happen, you could start selling at the market here on your tablet if you knew you were running X amount of stops on this currency pair. Then we can see the perfect structure on the 4-hour where this bottom becomes a top in time. Yes, it wicks through that, but when it closes here, we have if you go any lower than a 4-hour chart, you're gonna have to fucking bust your ass, because you got to get the fuck out of that trade when the sellers come into the half-hour chart. That's why I don't understand why people will sit there and not discuss the fact that when you drop down these lower time frames, you're denying the trades in front of you based on the theory you built on the other charts. Like, what are you doing? How are you dragging in two different? It's like, okay, well, are you building? Are you putting in a bathroom, or are you building a house? Well, we're going to build the bathroom first. Okay, but then get a different house for the right. Okay, I don't know. Anyways, hope that helps. Just gonna rest up for the next session.